Madam, myself M. Paul Reddy, studying in SRIT Engineering College, 2nd CSM. My roll number is 234G1A33C0. Now I am going to explain about interrupts. Interrupts. Introduction to interrupts. Interrupts are signals that inform the processor of an event that needs immediate attention. They temporarily halt the execution of the current program to allow for the handling of the interrupting event. Interrupts are crucial for managing asynchronous events in computer system. Interrupts are signals to the computer programming unit that temporarily halt the execution of the current program, allowing the operating system to service hardware request or handling expectational conditions. Now, interrupts to types of interrupts. There are two main categories of interrupts: hardware interrupts and software interrupts. These are the two types. Hardware interrupts are generated by external devices to signals the processor. Software interrupts, often called traps, are generated by programs to request system services. Now, while observing this diagram, interrupts hardware and software, non-maskable, maskable, external source, internal source are the hardware interrupts. Now, hardware interrupts are generated by peripheral devices like keyboard and mic. Each hardware interrupt has a unique interrupt request IRO number of identifications. Or these interrupts are essential for real-time processing and responsiveness in operating system. Hardware interrupts are signals sent by hardware devices to the CPU, temporarily halting programming execution to request services or attention. While observing this diagram, you may find the different gates are perform the giving output. Now, software interrupts. Software interrupts are triggered by execution specific instructions in a program. They are commonly used for system calls, allowing applications to request services from the operating system. Software interrupts facilitate communication between user applications and systems kernel. Software interrupts are signals generated by software instructions temporarily halting program execution to request service or attention from the operating system or hardware. Now, while observing this software interrupts diagram, now RST 0 to 7. Now, hardware interrupts handling. Interrupts request interrupt request. A hardware device sends an interrupt signal to the CPU context switch. Now the CPU saves the current program state. Interrupts services route line ISR specialized code handles the interrupts. Context restore. The CPU restores the program states. Software interrupt handling interrupts instructions. Software generates an interrupts context switch. The CPU saves the current program states. ISR handles the interrupts. Context restore restores program states. Interrupts vectors. An interrupt vector is a data structure that contains addresses of ISRs. For each interrupts type, the processor uses the interrupts vector to determine which ISR to execute upon receiving an interrupt. It may describe about what type of ISR to execute the interrupts. Now, interrupt vector are essential for efficient managing multiple interrupts in a system. Actually, in the system, the essential thing is interrupt vector. It is most crucial in interrupt system. Types of interrupts vectors. Actually, we have different types. Now, see what is that. Interrupt vector table IVT, a table containing ISR address. The table which contains address of the table, it may determined as interrupt vector table. Interrupt description table, a data structure used in x86 architecture of the data structure is determined by the interrupt descriptor table, vector table used in ARM and other architectures. Vector interrupts. Now, prioritization of interrupts. Interrupts can have different priorities levels determining the order of handling. High priority interrupts can permit lower priority ones, ensuring critical tasks and addressing first. Prioritization helps maintain system stability and responding during stimulations events. Nested interrupts. Nested interrupts allows higher priority interrupts to occur while a lower priority ISR is executing. This capability enhances the responsiveness of the system during critical operations. However, it requires careful management to avoid issues like stack overflow or priority inventions. Types of nested interrupts: nested hardware interrupts, nested software interrupts, mixed nested interrupts. Now, interrupts in real-time system. Real-time systems rely heavily on interrupts of timely task execution and event handling. The predictable of interrupts response times is vital for meeting real-time constructions. Interrupts-driven architecture improve the efficiency and responsiveness of such systems. Conclusion: interrupts are essential components of computer system, enabling efficient and responsive handling of events, errors, and requests. Interrupts plays a pivotal role in modern computing by managing event and system resources. Understanding interrupts is essential for designing efficient operation systems and applications. As technology evolves, the implementation and complexity of interrupts handle will continue to grow. Thank you for giving this wonderful opportunity to explain about interrupts.